Hi, my name is Abdikareem, Ilm-wise. I'm level 5 student, and today I'm here to present my presentation, Mpip presentation, which is about, it consists of 8 slides. First slide will be talking about my career path, contract, and so on. So to start with, this is the first slide, and it's talking about my career path, my future job. I've been in the aviation industry for a long time, since 2000. I got experience and knowledge about the passenger sector, working for different airlines. And this time, I want to take a different approach and become an airport manager. For that reason, I choose to become airport manager, and I choose to work with Denata. My entry point with Denata will be as a check-in staff. That's after I leave the university. Then I will become, according to my plan, senior check-in staff. Then I will be landside manager. Then landside manager assistant, then landside manager, and airside manager, terminal manager, and finally airport manager. As you can see, this is 10 years plan, so it might change, but this is my plan. And the reason I choose to work for airport is, in the last 20 years or so, or 10 years, many airlines become bankrupt. That's why working at airport is more secure than working for airlines. And as you can see here, Graham said, managing airports presents a comprehensive and cutting-edge insight into today's international airport industry. So to summarize this slide, I choose to work for Denata to become an airport manager in 2024. And to justify my choice is that many airlines fail, and I don't want to become jobless when my airline fails, so I choose to work at airport. This is the first slide. And the second slide is contract type, which is suitable, the most suitable contract for Denata. Denata, as I said, is a company doing handling or ground handling services for airlines in Dubai. The company was established in 1959 in Dubai, and there is over 20,000 employees working for the company. So really it's a massive company. For that reason, the most suitable contract for the company is permanent contract. They do some part-time job, they do some temporary job, but the main contract and the majority of staff are hired under contract, which is permanent contract. That's why, after considering the global economy, operational requirement, and all these things, the company can conclude to make the most suitable contract for it, for the company, the permanent. What I mean operational contract requirements is the company need to be operational 24 hours 7, because airline industry is 24/7, and the company should be there to serve the airlines. For that reason, they need more employees and more permanent staff to be ready and available to serve the airlines all the time. For that reason, this is the most contract for the company, and it's permanent contract. The third slide is about recruitment and selection. The company has got some process which every single employee with the company should go through this process. And the first process is to apply the job online. They don't advertise the job in the newspaper or somewhere else. They advertise on their website. And the candidate should apply the job online. Then any shortlisted candidate will be contacted by the company, and as you can see here, they ask any candidate who shortlisted to supply or provide any document they have to support their application. And this is really ongoing process, and finally any employee selected with the company should sign the contract, employment contract. And this is where human resource management dealing with the person face to face. Sometimes they deal with the candidates online, but this is one of the final stages of the employment in the DENATA. It's important to mention that DENATA is part of Emirates Group, and this process is similar to the one the Emirates do. So, not to be confused, it's the same process, but it's different company, and they are part of Emirates Group companies. For that reason, DENATA, they recruit staff every year. They mainly focus on highly educated people and more experienced people, and that's the type of people they're looking for, and that's really the process. Starting from online, up, going through, and up to the signing the contract. So that's the third slide. And the fourth one is talking about the learning and development. There is a learning and development in DENATA. People can learn online, people can learn on the job training, and they can develop themselves to become future managers. DENATA, however, they got policy in place. Any new staff should go 1 month training, 1 month training contract, 1 month training. 1 month training. The existing staff, they will get training once a year, and this is how they do the training. Took place at airport or office. It's online, self-study, one-to-one, and the cost is $500,000 dirham, and that's 1 day training. Imagine there's 20,000 people around the world and they need training. That's why the cost is quite high. So this is the process, and this is what they're aiming to get from the training people. The aim to train people is to make staff ready for the challenge. The airline industry is quite challenging, and the staff should be knowing what they're doing in terms of system, technology, and everything. For that reason, they train existing staff once every year. And the other one is performance management strategy. Then after they go 4 review times. They go first review within 3 months, and the second one is within 6 months, the third one is within 9 months, and that's the final one. So there is a 4 performance management stage that any employee with the DENATA should go through. And the aim for this is to evaluate the existing staff. And if they spot any performance gap, they will help the staff to get training, the necessary training. And otherwise, if there is a new equipment, new system, and the staff, they didn't know anything about it, they will train the staff to do the job, and they will monitor. If there is a gap or if there is a underperformance, they will train the staff. That's why they put in place performance management strategy. And that is, performance management has increasingly been seen as the way to ensure administrative accountability, the meeting of standard, and the provision of value-added service. That's the pattern. So this is really very important. And the second one, the other one is about change management in DENATA. DENATA, when they want to install or put in place any change, first stage is to examine what's needed. Second stage is to develop the change, to implement, and to measure how it works. So it's 4 stages. And organizational change can generate skepticism and resistance in employees, making it sometimes difficult or impossible to implement organization improvement. It's important really. So the data, first of all, they try to prepare staff to accept the change. Otherwise, they couldn't implement, and staff might become resistant to the change. So they have to introduce, communicate with the staff, with the employee over the wall, and then they can examine, develop, implement, and measure the change. And the other slide is about human resource policy. They not got policy which is dealing with employees. And first they design the policy to suit the business type. And the second stage is to install and implement the policy. And the third stage is to monitor how effective policy is. And finally, they support employees to follow the policy. Reason for that, as I mentioned earlier, Denat is a global company, and there are over 20,000 employees from different backgrounds. So there should be a policy in place to affect any type of actions that may attract legal action, such as bullying, harassment, something like that. And also this is including sickness, holiday, something like that. All these policies are in place with data. And the final stage is exit strategy. And this is the exit strategy that data follow. It's not quite clear, but the leaving person, when they handed their resignation, there will be interview from the manager, and the data will be collected from the staff, and this will help the company to implement or to change any policy after they determine why the staff leaving the company. And as you can see, it's quite important because exit interview is a survey that is conducted with an employee when he or she leaves the company. So to summarize this short presentation, it was about human resource management. And as I mentioned, human resource management is a very important role within the organization. That's why every single organization needs human resource to be in place. That's my presentation. I would like to thank you for your listening. Thank you very much.